In my last video, I camped overnight at Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, and in this one I'll take you on a really cool hike. This park is really unique because it's located right along the US-Mexico border in Arizona. In fact, later in the video you'll even be able to see the border wall. It's also the only place in the US and one of the very few places in the world where the organ pipe cactus grows in its natural habitat. This hike right here is just a quick 1.5 mile loop that takes you through a dense cactus forest with amazing views of the surrounding desert landscape. Right here is one of those giant organ pipe cactuses, with its stems resembling the pipes of an organ instrument, and over to the right is a small mountain called the Twin Peaks. I'm sure you can see why. The trail led me through a wash where you can see a lot of these common desert trees like Palo Verdes and mesquites. Here are some more cool shots of these really unique organ pipe cactuses. And right here is a funny looking type of cactus known as the teddy bear cholla. In fact, there are a lot of these just all over the trail. Eventually I got to the top of the hill, and from there I had a view of the entire campground and could even see into the mountains of Mexico. This is another teddy bear cholla, and as you can see, you obviously don't want to be touching these things. If you look closely enough from here, that small edge that you see sticking out of the ground is actually the border wall. It's just about 5 miles from where I'm standing here. This is a barrel cactus, a very small one. I think this one is called a hedgehog cactus. And of course we also have the giant saguaro. Eventually I finished the short trail, and I drove up to the visitor center to get started with the rest of the day. The scenic drive is absolutely gorgeous, with views of the Ajo Mountains in the distance, which is where I would be doing some more hiking. This was honestly one of the coolest visitor centers I've been to. It had a nice little garden in the back, and obviously some signs and exhibits that teach you about the wildlife, the nature, and the history of the area. After exploring that for a bit, I headed down a dirt road that takes you right into the heart of the Ajo Mountains, the major mountain range in the park. These mountains are really unique because, as you can see, they're not like sharp peaks, they're more squared off at the top. Of course, these are all layers of volcanic rock that exploded millions of years ago. Or it might have been hundreds of thousands, who knows. I'm not an expert on geology, but I do get some of this knowledge just from all of the signs, the brochures, and the visitor centers of all these places I visit. I made a quick stop at a viewpoint with this really cool rock formation that had an arch at the top. Since I didn't get a great sleep the night before, I took a quick nap in the parking lot here before driving up to the trailhead of the next hike. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, because I have like 10 minutes of clips from the next hike, and I don't want this to get too long. But be sure to stay tuned for that one, because it's genuinely one of the coolest hikes I've ever done. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment too, because I'll be sure to respond. And finally, if you'd like to support my work both on this channel and my other channel, if you know about that, feel free to join me over on Patreon.